agree. Like, we were talking about this. We're like, Haven, a pick for Sad, it was so smart because they kind of forced, right, that Icebox as a decider, a map they're already confident on. They've already bodied Prosperity on during the Swiss stage. And now, I mean, after you 10-2'd, yes, there was a bumpy, journey to close. You're running the ego comp for Haven. I think it'll work really, really well versus Prosperity. I mean, while their confidence in the speed is there, and the first blood is, we'll have to see huge strokes from them.
Somehow, Zerona is able to escape out of Garage 2 with his life. We were about to see 2 quick picks from Prosperity. It's sad, they already have a big response here. 2Z deep into mid, and that's an even bigger camp. Spotting out the player in bottom mid, not something that really Manny was expecting, but it is a gift on a silver platter. And an even bigger gift here is the fact that A is wide open.
Nice pivot. I mean, you found the first blood there. Following through is key when you saw so many players on your grass default as well. Towards Garage, towards C. But looking at the speed of the flood, and they already have 2 players deposited in the graffiti, and no one cleared it out because they were holding back sight. I mean, to grab some kills along the way, you finally crunch all those remaining players, but trades upon trades. And Prosperity, they come out on top of their first pistol of the series.
I mean, we'll take that. We'll take that. Absolutely. Good job responding to the quick rotation coming in from Sad, but I mean, that's about it, isn't it? Prosperity can stay in Saul the same exact way that they started map number 1, but Sad again with the pistols. We were already able to see a bit of a reply. So once again, like what was the term I used before? The jumping pistols. You know, may they be jumping again.
And thank you for that correct. My apologies. But that's the issue, is that they only won the pistol in the follow-up for that half. So we're going to be looking beyond that, even if it is the attack side of Haven. And again, if you're strong, you know, you're confident in your A takes, leaning towards there again on the buy is a safe route, especially when you don't want to challenge B, you don't want to challenge Garage where shotguns could be lurking in the dark. And I like this little trap play, try to punish Manny, draw him in, and Zerone is there as well. Not going to bite just yet, but silence here. You can see it eating away at Sad. They're like, oh, we gotta wait. And Jerwin finally gets the contact.
That's all it is, just a contact. No bullets going back and forth just yet. 2Z not getting caught up by the drone. And Prosperity, they've actually sandwiched themselves a little bit over towards long. They smoke on the front side though of Art, or of Short. It's not gonna be there for too long. They were waiting for that smoke to go down. Good wait there from Prosperity, and indeed they're gonna take advantage going forward. Manny, ISO collecting frags. Sad, they've cleared out of sight, and even those who aren't even in sight right now, they still go down. Zerona down through the smoke. Jawa alongside Benji is trying to make something out of this round. Really just try to make an economic poke into this round, but gotta give it up to Prosperity. That was an extremely smart look from them, coming out of that long side, waiting for the smoke.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the site clear, the re-clears from pistol to this round is so clean. Not letting any antics of the site smoke slip through, but they will accidentally let a kill from Jowish slip through with the Sheriff. He even reads the reflink from Manny, but can't. Too much HP loss. And all in all, I think the idea there was to charge up that kill contract, right? But Benji doesn't want to hand any ult orbs over, especially when, because of the heroic opening from Yuki, look, you're 3 off from Armageddon already.
Unbelievable PC you'd still to have. And it's not like Sad here doing much else to actually try to get themselves back into this game, at least off of that last round. This next round is really it. If they lose this round, they're going to be facing Armageddon immediately. They're going to have to go down to the pistols once again. I mean, Prosperity, now more than ever, they've actually established themselves. They've given themselves already a chance to stay comfortable here in this second map.
And that's my difficulty, is right now they're completely disrespecting A on the side of Prosperity. So I want to see them away for them to get ahead, and their comp just doesn't lend to that. You don't have a Breach Star. You don't really have a Taeho missile. And so you can't. And you saw them kind of contemplating, okay, let's get aggressive down grass, but because there's so much utility already coming towards the C-split, they are again forced to play reactively instead of proactively. We'll see if the better weapons can hopefully keep things intact.
This is good here for Sad. Okay, Jawa. What a reply there. What a setup there from Sad. Multi-layered retake there, essentially, of Garage as one player trying to just slide in, showing the raw look. Jawa from up top, sweeping away the rest of Garage, and Prosperity. They're still tempting. C period. It's going to be a lot easier. It's only going to be the Cypher. You say only, but Benji has all the trips ready and raring to go, and he's in a real comfortable spot.
Yeah, we're gonna get the first taste of a Benji side anchor here. Spotted out, now forced out by the salvos as well. You have to win this kill log, and unfortunately Yuki with the bulldog wins it out. So that opens up the players from Garage to take this space pretty much unimpeded. No support coming out. Now, I mean, you're down numbers, you need that it factor, and I was already trying to clear out the extremities, and you've lost more players to VCT spray. I don't even think they needed that Armageddon use, but they're gonna do it anyways.
One enemy remaining.
Armageddon is at least going to hold off Tuzi from being able to trade Jawa. Jawa left completely on his lonesome, and the Armageddon was just worth it just for the lane shutdown, but gotta question that. If we're being honest here for Prosperity, Armageddon, it still takes a whole lot of ult orbs, even though we're not talking about, you know, the new Armageddon. We're still talking about an Armageddon that takes 8 points to get. It's gonna take a while, and it's kind of a, you know, it's a V formation, as I was saying earlier. It's a bit of a dub there if you have it in a late round.
And like we said, we're harping on using it that early, but if we think about it, if we think about the momentum, we think about how it was a 10-2 where they only won the pistol and the follow-up on Lotus. That's the third. That's the confidence, the snowball that can avalanche into a close or a productive half favoring Prosperity here. Which again, it's attack side at Haven. It's a must for this map.
Yeah, not exactly, you know, not too many negatives here. Definitely nitpicking, to say the very least. Prosperity, you know, they're the ones winning right now. You know, I don't think there's much wrong with that. But these Sheriffs doesn't have much of a positive outlook. Manny is going to be able to pick down that first. There's also a man watching over towards A long and a trip in the back. Like, what? There's so many insurance options here for Prosperity. Zerona was able to get a pick off, but where did Benji even come from? Benji just slides in behind Magic and actually almost able to get himself a second kill off of that. But we move, we ball. Sad has a big round coming up.
Yeah. We've now seen some creative eco ways they're trying to disrupt this A take, but Manny too clean on the flank hole, very, you know, playing from protective angles. And I think what I really need to see, I think that's what they're leaning towards, and I asked for it a few rounds ago, is a way to get ahead of this A side aggression. And again, they've tried the kind of nuanced, inadvertent ways, and they haven't just tried to fight it head on. And I think that's what the aim is this round, right? Your Yoru's there with a gate crash spawn to support Benji, but all the utility I'm expecting to come out here. Paranoia, deep shocks, deep dart, and maybe even a contingency to scale up long. That's what we need here.
Over and long, Prosperity instead, they only put out a single piece of util, and that already holds the players from SAD here on A at least long enough for these players from Prosperity to at least poke at B.
I think they were aware that if they kept going A, they were going to find a way to fight it head on because they're confident in their mechanics. They just beat you on Lotus. And now you're requiring them to pick up the pieces on a light side of the map where, yep, you have German because of the gate crash, but all in all, 3 players, you're going to be guaranteed a trade here, hopefully.
It doesn't matter. Magic's able to pick up the frag onto Jerwin.
Look at this trip.
They're in the back here. Benji doesn't actually have a one-way off of this cage, but with the trip right there in the middle, he has the trap, but it doesn't even matter. Man doesn't walk into the trip just yet. He still has it right next to him, and he has a smoke right next to him. This is huge for Benji. Still Jawa able to get the kill onto Manny. These players cannot get past the front of sight. Zerona with the frag. There goes the trip, and there goes a double from Benji. Caged them all up and said, able to take advantage. Beautifully done by Benji.
Wow. Really, really, really nice. I asked for the Benji side anchor. It fell flat last time, but the support of that sight smoke from Tuesday after the cage falls out. Got one kill after another, and even the other cage as well. Allows him to get the kill long onto Manny, who again usually plays off, gets back to the site to have that impact. And we're good to go. So, SAD on the board off of what you mentioned was going to be an important rifle round. Now, looks like they're going to sell an A-fake off the salvos. In reality, they really want to get this C-site challenge head on. They don't want to overwhelm, dash the confidence of Benji. Go.
Oh, no battle to have here around the C-site. You're going to have Benji. The setup out in the middle of the site. Does have a tripwire. Does maybe have a pick, but he was looking at his cam. Down on the one-on-one. Going to win it out, but still a little bit risky. Here for Prosperity. Magic on the front side. My goodness. And that burst up from Zerona. Huge chances from SAD, but they're not able to do anything with it. Tuzi and Jawa, however, able to return back a couple of frags. And this is beautiful here for SAD. However, Yuki, 1-on-3. And on the 1-on-2, not able to take down Jerwin. SAD, they respond immediately.
Yeah, Prosperity. in the C site here, again, you're worried about Benji, you're worried about the reflood. It's questionable that they kind of gave up what was winning for them, which was this A main, this A side fight and focal point, which is why I think they're starting to finally lean back that way. But all in all, this was really, really clean, right? Benji realizing I can't anchor the site every time. I get out CT, I play retake off the kill contract with my team. And now this is what I was waiting for is, we talked about the change sad main. We talked about they were finally seized to fight A main. I want to see Prosperity fight it head on, and every single time they're kind of leaning away from it.
Zerona is going to be able to find anything here, and actually Prosperity at the same time. Perfect ground here over in the middle of B. Jawa, he is going to get a contact here, but this is going to be it. Does Magic actually want to fight this? And indeed, the whole team does. TP into the middle of the site, wall up. Zerona not going to be able to find a gap, and neither is Jawa. Plan is going to go down, and we're still down to a 5-on-5, even strength.
Go ahead.
Here's the first Vantic. Tries to get the first, not able to do much, but Magic 7 bursting through the back, able to get 2, but needs a whole lot more. 3 more on the other side of his screen, and oh my goodness, the damage is there. Benji goes down a little bit, but the trade is not there for Manny. Manny had a line of sight into the spike. If he gets that first pick, boy, it's a chance against the second, but no sir, it is sad with the third.
And I'm getting flashbacks to how they wanted that Armageddon re-clear to work on the side of Prosperity. And I mean, that was a great job at it, I'll say, from Magic, but it was really Magic alone, right? The rest of the players kind of caught out. Players from SAD making their way in through C-Link was really, really strong. Again, leveraging the full kit of the reposition, Jerwin, and that gate crash. So, all in all, it's difficult to say the least, but I mean, the fact that it ended up here over towards C, again, nice little setup, but I think we're getting that timeout from Prosperity, so we're looking back at all of the rounds here. And again, Prosperity, I like the proactivity this time, right? Because they realize, okay, it can snowball really quick in favor of SAD like it did over on Lotus. And they made a change in my mind again without having to, but it's very been proactivity.
Honestly, what I really liked about about just this last round in comparison to what we saw in the first half of this half, Prosperity, they've been poking at B almost every single round. We've seen Magic with presence multiple times in the middle of the map, and nothing was ever done for Prosperity into B. SAD always had some sort of presence there in the later parts of the round because of that. It did just kind of break apart that rotation a little bit, break apart that attention from SAD. It's the small things that Prosperity needs to do to be proactive, like you were saying. So it is good that Prosperity has some of these setups here, but SAD, they're doing a better job at those reactions now. Back down to 3 to 4 scoreline, but Jawa not able to do much. Nobody able to do anything. Players are safe into the middle of the site, and Magic! First on through, is he looking for a third? Of course he's looking for a third, but can he find the third? No, sir. Izo does pick up Zerona still. Vantic with another kill onto Jerwin, and now it's all just falling apart for SAD. They had the right util here on site. They had the right players surrounding C. For Prosperity, they hold W and it works.
I mean, not just that, but you mentioned the reactivity out of SAD and how that's been a calling card victory. I mean, Izo there, that was insanity, right? Benji easily should have gotten the trade or the protection kill onto Jawa, right? But the flashpoint comes through, so you get that. And then you have, okay, we're good, we're still okay. The Sova from Window, right, should be able to also clean things up, but then it's his aftershock, right? And they get the refrag off of a stinger. So the eco goes their way, the timeout transition goes their way on Link Lotus, and they stay ahead on Haven.
It's gonna be a quick start to this next round. They're gonna get the stun going into long A, but Prosperity, they're only gonna hold a player there just to try to see if they can get a one-on-one against Jerwin. It's gonna be, oh, okay, interesting. Just to try to get the peak. And it's just the man presence here. Yuki is going to stay here for a long time. The rest of his teammates heading over towards C at the moment. It is going to be Benji. Benji has been having one of his better BO3s, realistically, of the entirety of Challengers for him. He's been making some very good defensive plays here.
Drone going out.
And has yet another opportunity in this round. Double trips in front of him with the cam, and you just have Yuki being so annoying here over towards A. And he's just going to be stuck here completely on his lonesome, but he's holding 3 players here. He's holding 3 players here on A. This is beautiful stuff from Yuki. And here comes the exec. Does it work out for Prosperity? Absolutely it does. There's only one person here.
Yeah, I said I wanted to see how they fought head on to A, and they kind of faked that fight. Like you mentioned, Yuki keeping those players tied up. Now they can set up really, really well on this C site, and now they're even set up to play proactive off of the Rolling Thunder into spawn, pushing all of these players back. Mentioned how it was wanting a team fight, and Magic followed up there really, really well by ISO, but they realized, okay, no one's taking the fight. They have dimensional drift. We're not going to overstay our welcome. We're not going to get surrounded out of garage. They refight during those positions and are winning them.
It just leads Sad completely out of this site, one by one, trying to attempt their burst back into C, and simply put, Prosperity had no problems in that round. Even over towards A, you know, the plan with Atsejo went out perfectly. Yuki was able to get 1 kill for his favor. Yes, he goes down at the very end, but he was able to hold 3 players over towards the A side. By that time that the plant ends up going down over towards C, one of the players is over in the middle of B, and the other one's still in long A. Beautiful stuff, at least in terms of that job being done. But after that, Prosperity, very strong hold in the back line, not allowing Sad to even come out of their spawn.
Okay, and now, I mean, they realize, okay, if Yuki can win the A fight, you know, take a few down, we can hopefully win the team fight if they were going to fight forward again on the side of Sad. But one round where they're actually digging their teeth in on A main control is one round where we don't see that ISO Yoru combo fight forward. Instead, it looks like they are going to go for a more proactive reclear. Don't let the side of Prosperity come to them, but it's just ever so slightly late. The drone here, if anything, if it spots out these players, it would have been like everybody rotate, and it's still going to be as soon as Yuki makes contact, you see 3, you know, okay, it's probably just a Cypher home on C. And Magic says, I've won this duel before, I'm going to win it again.
Yeah, this time really just trying to pull that same plan from last round, but just unnecessary, right? Because the pistols, you don't exactly need the man advantage. You don't exactly need, you know, the rotation getting pulled, but at least something there, just in case the stack was here for Sad here on the C site. Only one taking advantage of it so far. Vantic is going to go down. Super low HP. A single bullet from 2s, he gets him. Now we're down to 3-on-3. It's not like this is impossible here for Sad. Jawa just bursts on out without any util, and he's still able to get a kill from it. 2 remaining here for both sides. Tuzi, Zerona, walk on out. Magic doesn't find it. What a shot from Zerona. Manny around the corner. And indeed goes around the bend to get both players. Bullets straight through the box to rip both.
And Manny, it doesn't matter. The Clove, the Cypher, beautiful job at standing his own, whether it's, you know, holding down the flank on Ecos or clutching up the 1v2s in the post. And I was getting nervous there. That was a half-buy situation, right? It was a Stinger and a Sheriff. I mean, Vandal upgraded, but nonetheless, I was nervous. And you just run it down with a Vandal? Like, okay, the wall bang connects, you're good to go. You have an advantage now on the Haven side. And they finally commit, okay, we got to put Cypher A. We think they haven't gone A in a very, very long time, and they are correct on this call.
And it works out at least for Jerwin. Jerwin picks up Magic, and it's quickly going to be a one-on-one here for Vantic. Vantic does not take advantage there as Zerona, and in fact, A site, even though there's only 3 players left here for Prosperity, they still cleanly make their way into this A site, but look at the ultis in the hands of Sad. Zerona is ready with his Hunter's Fury. Jawa is also going to be ready too if he gets the opportunity, and absolutely he will. Manny one-on-one with Jawa. Jerwin wins out his war, and Jerwin is able to get himself a second frag at the same time. Sad, finally a clean round.
And again, a nice way to finally handle what kind of kicked off this map in a rough sort was being unable to handle it at Agazak, how clean it was out of Prosperity. So I liked that it was kind of half commitment, right? I liked that, you know, Jerwin's aggression kind of hides the Cypher utilities impact and sling things out, setting them up for those retakes you mentioned off the ultimates. And the fact that they keep the Hunter's Fury in the back pocket as well because of Jawa and the kill contract. Nice now to have coming into this last round and a half. And I'm surprised to see if Prosperity does try to run things back. It's just a similar fake out. And seems like Sad has called this kind of set up really well to counter the C-split. Usually if one player fighting Garage, you kind of hopefully have the Silva support there as well.
Yeah, this is probably the strongest look that we've seen from Sad here over on the C site, and it's still extremely disconnected. You still have 2 players basically back over towards spawn, and by the way the setup is here for Benji, these players are going to be way too close by the time he gets a contact, so he's just going to be stuck in the corner, and that's exactly what happens. Benji, Jawa goes down, Zerona forced to pick up the pieces, and that actually works out, but hold on a minute. Manny comes up from behind, strikes away Zerona. and the Seaside is back.
Not how long is a stare down over on Lotus, but the impact foul nonetheless. The 2v3 forced out. And, I mean, both coming from CT and Magic with 33 HP says, my life isn't worth it. I'll get some chip damage. So that my teammates can clutch it up. You trusted Manny. He's won these before.
Huge paranoia. Do they know about Manny? It doesn't matter. That spot is very good for Manny. Can Manny back up into the smoke potentially? Can he crawl back? This is going to be a high-low. They know about Vantic, but they don't know about Manny. Manny takes away Tuzi, and there is a huge, huge half from the chasing Prosperity.
18-4. Well done. On a map they've yet to play. And we talk about this, okay? Have they just not played it? Do they not prepared for it? Or have they been hiding it? And right now it proves to be the latter. Again, maybe partially out of SAD not coming up with these adaptations fast enough. And then we will say this is also going to be the SAD stronger half. Again, this tried and true ISO Yoru. You know, notorious for the C-Take simulator. But all in all, this round, I mean, it's showing how cleaned up the coordinated utility is, right? We were joking saying, hey, they were taking a lot of solo fights. There wasn't much tradability in some of these exchanges. But this, I mean, Drone takes your Cypher out, Neon scales up, and they even get past the Hunter's Fury. So all that showcasing, you know, onto brighter pastures here in map 2, maybe even a chance at seeing Icebox in the distance.
For now, it's a pretty decent chance. Here comes Magic just to try to make those chances just that little bit better, but no sir. Benji takes him out immediately, and that's just a meat grinder. Zorona alongside Benji with the double shot to take him down. And it's a relatively fast response here coming up from SAD Esports. SAD bursting out into A, and Yuki's going to be on that front side just to try to take him down. There's a second player right behind him, and making the third, actually, Vantic with a classic, but only able to get one out of it. But here comes Izo. Izo takes away a big frag. Tuzi getting overwhelmed, and that is just Prosperity, not only with a reply, but with a swarm.
And both pistols go their way. Deny the ability to turn things around out the gate here for the side of SAD Esports. And, I mean, we look towards, okay, that's what Prosperity was able to get away with, those sort of A execs out the gate in the first half of this map. So the fact that they shut it down outright, I mean, Vantic here, huge proactivity. Izo as well down short. Taking some risks, but they pay off. And the fact that we never got to see SAD proactively, or I should say successfully clear out a short there, was kind of the tipping point. And now, I mean, we talked about this, how the composition SAD's running, you don't get to have this forward pressure, a space denial. But with Yuki and these salvos, you can have it every round, and they regenerate still in this old Tejo meta. Okay. Now that they've dissipated. Slow clearance, the spy cam. Not quite sure what's drawn Vantic and Izo to this site, but good thing it has.
Right, it's working out at least for now with the fact that SAD, they just keep inching closer and closer. And this is good here. Magic
Yeah, how deep
up
Magic
long.
is.
Yeah, and with the tripwire over in Garage, they don't need to worry about C at all, other than what Magic is doing right now. They can hold on to B, and they can hold these 3 players over on A.
Yeah, that's why they have the 3 players on A. They know it's not going to be a follower, but they know it's the Stinger Force is the question. Gate crash to draw the eye. The double tap is up, and the player graffiti eliminated. The trade as well secured. Vantic, every single player. That numbers advantage we just praised. Eliminated. Spike planted, and there's still 4 players strong up against an outlaw and a ghost now in the hands of the remaining Prosperity players.
It's just the dismount there not exactly working out. Yuki unable to get his hands over the trade there, and still the rest of his team unable to rotate too quickly now. But Magic still wants to have a bit of fun here. Let's have some fun. Magic coming out, bursting out the wall, going out with Classic, and unable to do much. SAD come out of this round with 3 players alive. Team Ace, 5th round, their first round in a very long time.
Yeah. Aside from the fluke round 11.
Can you count that?
Yeah. And I mean, this was just
a round.
clean.
It was technically a round, so you know what, my bad.
We talked about like the importance again of getting on the border, like when you're looking at Nate 4 half, and the Stinger Force in the 2nd round, that's perfect to do so. And also kind of slams the confidence, slams the economy for Prosperity. See here, just 2 sheriffs, a dire triple exec off these salvos down. See where Jarwin, with that outlaw, is able to make quick work of it, that he carried over likely from Magic's corpse last round.
Magic doesn't want to be the second victim just yet. He wants to maybe surprise a player coming out of the smoke, but that doesn't really matter. Sad. They already have their next line of sight, and it's over towards C. Benji. Excuse me, not Benji. Man, he's not going to be able to do much with this, but he has all of the information in the world. Still, the Classic doesn't have a good line of sight. One-on-one here over in spawn. Benji takes down Magic. Still a lot more work to be done here. Prosperity really just looking for a couple of these rifles, looking for a bit of a burst in this economy, bit of a break to the economy, but not at all. This is exactly, of course, what SAD needed. A lot more Valorant to be played, but holding on to the SMG, holding on to the Guardian, holding on to the Bulldog, that's huge still for SAD. It's a long half coming up.
Now, this is the round that matters for the side of Prosperity. If they lose what's now technically a SAD Esports bonus, then in the subsequent rounds will essentially eliminate the advantage that they had at the half. And I mean, with the Bulldog, with the Guardian carried over, this is definitely looking a little scary. So again, going back to proactivity on this approach, again, you have to find a way to disrupt what is a C-Takes familiar with the style of composition. They do so quite well.
They have the right idea, at least for now. Tuzi was stepping up over towards Garage to try to burst things open for his players over towards Long. It's not exactly happening. It is going to be a one-on-one here. Magic bursts out and takes out Benji. That is slap to the face of SAD here, and that's another one. Vantic finding Tuzi. And again, you can just see here kind of the effect for SAD. I mean, them getting a little bit more desperate at the bare minimum. Tuzi and Benji making some hero plays, but I'm able to beat the heroes. Vantic on the front side, knocking down both Jerwin and Jawa with the same bullet. Zerona, 1v5. This round's done. At least Prosperity can cut the bleeding.
Now, when the initial C split's taken out, and you recognize, hey, because they went aggressive C, your Cypher's going to be A. E was the best bet, but the pivot just so fast out of Prosperity, and now, I mean, Power of Friendship, the dark covers out. Silver lining here, at least you have the spike, so you have a choice, and C-Site kind of left open here, kind of showing actually some respect towards Zerona in this face clutch situation. But I'm expecting Yuki salvos out as soon as spike tap goes through. I expect the high gear over, because Magic, when he only has 2 HP, he likes to get risky, right? And Zerona, not even gonna be able to get that prospect just yet. There's 10 seconds left.
10 seconds left.
Oh.
He's dead? No, he's not dead. Somehow not dead. Oh, and he can bait more frags. Cool. Never mind. All right. An attempt. Zerona very smart. And still double digits. Prosperity getting closer now to actually drowning out SAD. It's not like, again, we haven't seen a good look here from SAD on this attack half. Let's try to see what this next round has for us. Prosperity. Things aren't safe just yet. Things are starting to get entertaining more than anything here from this SAD side.
Yeah. Again, an ego comp, and when you almost toss a 10-2 I'm sure that'll eat away at you, but Vantic's huge. And looking back at Zerona here, the double dip kind of costs them a chance in clutching at the round, but 6-10. You need that decision, and surprised they don't just try to run back the C-split here, because you don't expect Prosperity to run it, down C-long every round. But they're just being very cautious, it seems like, from the get-go, waiting for that kind of aggression, because it's come out more rounds than not, whether it's down A-long, whether it's down C. Seems like now that they've weathered that storm, they're trying to get these deep deposits. They're trying to get any Cypher utility that may exist off the C site. So, definitely feels like terraforming land for a CXEC or trying to fake it with that deposit of Benji. But, I mean, now the concern is you haven't done anything to weather this Cypher util at A. So as soon as the spy cam sees you or hears that drone, expect players to make their way over there on the side of Prosperity as well.
What is Manny set up here, Manny? There's a whole lot of space to work with. There's a whole lot of utility in front of him. But he's not going to have a line of sight other than, of course, that tripwire. Smoke in his face. And no spot, of course, because of the clone. And he actually still gets spotted out by the kill contract. And no way! Jawa still takes him down. Manny had a chance. Prosperity almost able to kind of claw themselves with a realistic chance into this round, but every player for Prosperity is so plugged away right now. One player over in spawn, already getting rushed in by Jerwin. Spike is going down finally. And here comes at least a bit of an attempt here for Prosperity. SAD with so much map control. And there you go. Confidence coming back into the hands of SAD.
Yeah, every single piece that was set up fell into place that round for SAD, right? mentioned, I'm like, huh, they use a lot of shocks, they use a lot of utility to get away any Cypher trips on C, but when your kill contract's able to latch on to Manny there, you're pretty set solid. Even if you lose the fight, you took him out long enough to get those players deposited. And yeah, when they realized how kind of seamless that was, even down to the Benji lurk that gets the, you know, neural theft to just lock in the round. It's the second time not utilized, but it's the proactive ones that we like. It set them up for the 8-4 half, and now it could set them up for closing out this map.
It's not like, again, we didn't see a bit of an adjustment coming out from SAD. Usually when we do see that first contact, it is a little bit more committal, or it is a little bit more of a battle. But the first contact coming out from C long, holding the two players in between CV Link, really nothing came out of it from that SAD side. Nobody committed to it. Once that contact came in, it was a universal agreement that, hey, we all go over towards A. We all go over to this one uniform position, which, again, just a slight mentality shift, but you can tell that's SAD again, just trying to play more to their opponent's pace a little bit here, trying to adapt a little bit more, which is maybe something that SAD weren't doing. Just a bit of disrespect.
Yeah, definitely, it feels like they're playing this style of composition really, really careful, which is uncharacteristic of the team that kind of named it the Rankers comp in my mind. But all in all, coming out of this timeout, I like the switch up from SAD, or sorry, from Prosperity. You're trying to fake that you're still aggressing A, when in reality your Cypher util split and you're still pushing down C long. You get them to push off the salvos, not quietly scale down C long. And so now they have so much control through C, they have so much control down A, off these, you know, borderlines, the traps, that they have the entire team can find out to grass and be main. They know that this is where that team is headed.
And basically their friend here is time. Their best friend is time. The more time that goes by, the more space they gain, the more boxed into mid that SAD gets. Nobody's making a move back over towards B. They have a tripwire over in C garage. B is going to be pretty damn easy to say the least, and SAD, you can kind of tell that this mentality is pushing Prosperity to make some shifty decisions. The Teo doesn't exactly know whether or not to hold on to A. Is going to relinquish it a little bit, going to double watch over towards B. But this is basically just a 50-50. Do you believe in A? Do you believe in B? And it looks like they believed in the right position. It is going to be B. It is a double crossfire here for Prosperity.
Oh, no.
But no, the Cypher back's on the way. The plan is going to go in, but this is Tuzi now. Tuzi in the bottom of mid, able to take away one, but Prosperity still hard checks it. 4-on-4.
And the trapwire broken C long, but Benji was so committed to the deep alert that it really did fall to Tuzi to keep their back covered. And because they realized they lost control of spawn, they lost control of grass, they push into C link, and it works out for the time being. But now the 1v1s are not going their way, and the annihilation from Yuki is just to try. I was gonna say protect the tap, but.
No, but Joa, he's going to have a line of sight over towards bottom mid, but Vantic, he has a swing! But that has to be it. 2-on-1 with a defuse in the middle. Unless they gave him one-on-ones, Jawa's job was so difficult there, and that's exactly what happens. The comeback is there. That was 2-on-4 for Prosperity.
And again, the setup was just really clean out of Prosperity. We mentioned the risk, Yuki giving up all that A space after they were kind of bullied out of it by some utility. And this was the crux as well for me, right? Bungie is so deep through A that you're like, we gotta commit somebody else to the flank, and it's Tuzi. He falls, and there was even a gamble, a risk, right, with that Armageddon, right? Because it's to flush out Jawa, but then you also, it's covering the spike. So you can't get somebody onto it early. But you play down the timer, you trust in Vantic to get the refrag onto Joa, who you know is now having to peek from main, and you're good to go. But this is the speed up. This is the confidence that we want to see out of this style of composition off the dimensional drift. One way to get into the C site. Manny forced off by the Hunter's Fury in addition, and you really can't do much now that your life's been stolen away. And now you've got to play retake off the Rolling Thunder off the overdrive.
Let's see what Prosperity can do in one of these super difficult retakes, and I mean, that does help. Jawa just gives the one-on-one a little bit, but Jerwin, he goes for the refrag, and it actually works out in his favor. And Benji from behind too, lurking up the mid side, taking out Izo. And now it is Yuki alongside Magic. Now make it only Magic. As Magic is gone. 8-11, SAD, keeping themselves in the game, and more importantly, winning probably the most important round for them going forward. Their eco was about to break a little bit, and they can hold on to their rifles basically for the rest of the half.
Yeah, that was, again, what the style composition thrives at. You're not going to have the Hunter's Fury every round. And I think definitely having Manny fall there was huge to set up Benji for success, to allow them to play from that garage position unimpeded. And I mean, there's a little luck there that the Rolling Thunder doesn't really connect as well, so that can still go about fragging, can still isolate the overdrive utilizing magic as well. But, ooh, speaking of luck, finally an A-side collision on the eco round here for Prosperity. Caged across, the Jawa also can punch out of it. Or just deny the spike or try to do all of the above.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, this isn't much of a collision. This is more of a fender bender more than anything, but oh my goodness, this is a car crash. What is going on? Magic and the front side gonna go down. Zerona, Tuzi, Jawa, Jerwin, all players for SAD collecting frags onto the pistols of Prosperity. Good idea, of course, from Prosperity. They chose correctly, to say the very least, but not the right result.
Now it's Manny, classic in hand. You can get the shield, you can get the player about a gate crash running you down, but that's about it. SAD get their 9th, and I agree. Prosperity, the U-took combos were clean. Paranoia, fault line. It got, you know, Magic where he needed to be, but then it all comes down to sometimes your right-click RNG, sometimes some chance double taps. And just the discrepancy with his weaponry was too powerful, and once that utility subsided, the quick nature to deposit yourself back deep into A main, particularly here, outside of the cage, worked out super, super well for SAD. So 9-11. Mentioned how that was Nico. Now Magic with the operator on hand. This also could have been a result of the previous timeout, saying, okay, how are we going to change the defense next eco cycle? Oh.
Magic playing with fire here. Bullets whizzing past his head. He's going to be fine for now. Has to reposition back over towards garage. But SAD not pushing the situation at all. Look how conservative they're being.
I like it. I feel like the smoke C was for orb. I think they're just orb farming and ending A here. Right, Jao got the kill contract. If your Cypher is C, you're hoping to grab him yet again. Which, if you think about that repeat round, it worked out super, super cleanly. Benji as well with the lurk will be like the final nail on the coffin through B. I see the vision, but it all hinges off of getting Manny, right? And look at how far Manny is getting away from A. He knows it's coming.
Nobody gets it there. Indeed, he had to back all the way into spawn for that, and oh my goodness. Benji, what a chance. And Manny still able to take down Zerona. But what a chance there for Benji. Manny, he did dodge the kill contract a little bit earlier on. Still alive and still fragging Juro and Jawa alongside Suzy. Still trying to stay alive here for Sat. He'll try to play around sight. Jawa, this is such a dangerous position. If he can get this first frag, that would be huge. Indeed, he does at least get the frag, but it wasn't off the first contact. Not able to help out his teammate in a 3-on-1, basically. That one's going to be 12-9.
3 more rounds I needed for Sad to get to overtime, but I love the duality of a round like that and a few rounds prior where we talked about, okay, they have all these pieces about to fall into place and they all lock in and you're good to go for the round. And that's one where everything went wrong, right? Kill contract doesn't grab Manny. Your lure player Benji, who's supposed to be also a win factor for disrupting a retake, falls. And so the site goes with it because Manny able to play Heaven, finds kills. Yuki hands the operator off, right? So that Magic can be in the fight and still finds a kill. So all in all, I mean, they're lucky to have a bye, and they know now the operator's in place, so Jerwin's going to pick up one as well. But do they expect the B main fight here?
It's at least going to be a bottom mid fight. Oh my goodness, Magic. Going to have to back up, but nobody bursting into B main, no one bursting into mid, but that is huge. Jerwin, operator taking down Yuki over and long. Nobody else is going to be over on this A site. This is going to be the easiest A site that we've seen from SAD so far in this half, because Prosperity, they love their A site. They loved having a consistent involvement on this site, but SAD, yes, they're onto this A site, but look at the surrounding players here for Prosperity. They already have 3, and nobody's able to do much. No frags coming out, no bullets going in, no util being used, no ultis in, and oh my goodness, oh my goodness.
And I was about to, you know, display those concerns for like, how can you get back into this site, right?
Why
Previous, your Armageddon was taken out. Last round, you had obviously Manny from Heaven and the utility to play off of. That was your ticket back in. You also had the From the Shadows of Pervantic that went long. That was your ticket back in. This round, right? You didn't dislodge the alert player, Benji. You didn't have that big Armageddon to utilize to get your way back in. I think this is the safe route versus your econ was damaged. Then SAD gets to a guaranteed 11th. Then you're playing that last rifle round for OT for map 3. For that higher seed. And I mean, a little conservative side, but it still, I think, is the long game. strategy here out of Prosperity.
But it just hurts that that's even, you know, in the realm of possibility for this team, because, I mean, if that's the case, A was basically a do or die for a single player. Like, once that one player goes down and once Sad has control of A, then the round is lost. You know what I mean? That's just sort of my question mark there for Prosperity and the intentions coming into the round, or at least at the very beginning of the last round. The save, not so much a question, but the overall scope of things. But still, here comes Prosperity with a bit more pressure over towards A. It is going to be the Neon on the front side. Magic with an operator, but not going to be able to find anyone just yet. Sad only putting out a face in some deep portions of the map, not approaching.
We talked about how the Hunter's Fury is utilized quite well for Sad to set things up. So they're going back to the ult farming, the orb farming. They're still looking for these first kills with Jarwin and that operator, but bad to see Manny's not testing the waters at all. They had that spy cam to do it for him. But the slow pacing here, and you mentioned the deep control, deep pause of that operator. And they're going to be eyes on the operator. They're not even going to clear out Yuki in my mind here. Look.
Yuki. This could finish the whole map. I mean, they already have the man advantage. Are they going to clear Yuki? Yuki, this is it.
Going long, no.
Oh, Zorona. Wait, Zorona walks through. They could actually still get the trade, and indeed they do. So things aren't lost just yet. However, Magic waiting for Tuzi. Tuzi not showing a pixel. Battle over towards Garage, but the player's backing out. And there goes Vantic. Vantic gets the frag. Frag from Magic onto Jawa. And we are down to 1. Tuzi in a 1v4. Try to keep this map number 2 going. But this matchup for number 1 seed going into the playoffs here of promotion relegation.
Oh no.
Indeed going into a map number 3. No, Tuzi's gonna be chill.
Fortunate.
All right, good luck, Tuzi. 1v4. The paranoia is actually gonna work out. Actually ends up
Shadows traveling.
blinding 1 or 2 there, but that's about it. And Tuzi, ciao ciao. Job's done here for Prosperity. That's map number 2. And that's map number 3. All decisive map number 3 for the first spot in playoffs.
And the damage done by the fake comeback on Lotus seeps through to Haven. Prosperity, again, a dominant first half, 8-4. The proactive timeouts